Hi, this is Scott from the Mountain Dispatch and Scott Shop Media. Today is Thursday, February 25th, and this is what is happening on the mountain. 4 CalTrans projects scheduled today, 3 of them during the day, 1 overnight. The biggest one is the closure of State Route 18 through the Narrows until about 3 o'clock this afternoon. High wind warning is scheduled to expire at noon today. Pretty gusty winds, especially going down the mountain roads and through the canyons and passes. Reports of debris on the road, overturned big rigs down the hill on the 210 and the 15. Even a fire overnight last night in Bloomington that took out a couple of houses. Speaking of fire, we're at a low fire risk for the next 7 days. We would rather see this at no fire risk, but these winds drying out our fuel moisture, and until we get another storm, a lot of the mountain is no longer covered in snow. So it would be waiting to see when the next weather system moves in. Nothing significant forecasted for the next week. 3 crimes reported on the mountain yesterday. Also 3 Southern California Edison outages affecting about 129 customers. One of those is a weather-related outage in Waterman Canyon. So you might saw some lights flickering this morning. The biggest outage, Waterman Canyon, they'll have that power hopefully restored by 2, but nobody on the mountaintop is affected by storm-related or wind-related. The other 2 are just regular scheduled maintenance outages. And lastly, as we reported yesterday, 30 new cases of COVID reported yesterday. They won't come out for a couple more hours, but that's a I'd like to see that number low. That gives us about 48 active cases on the mountain and 2 deaths reported this week, 1 in Big Bear City and 1 in Big Bear Lake. That's what I have for you. If you have a few more minutes to stick around, we'll go into greater detail, starting with traffic. We have a full closure through the Narrows between Route 138 and Crest Forest Drive till about 3 o'clock this afternoon. And take you up and over Crest Forest Drive. Over in the Big Bear Lake area between Talbot Drive and Catalina Road on State Route 18, you're down to 1 lane and traffic control for some utility work. Over here on the 38 between Old Mill Creek and Jenks Lake, we have that long-term emergency work. Repairs from the El Dorado fire until about 6 o'clock this evening, and then overnight ongoing freeway widening project on the State Route 210. So the interchange to the 330 might be taking up at times to allow for that widening of the freeway. Weather, we still have some gusty winds this morning. Set to expire at noon today. That should leave us with mostly clear skies, some slight breezes. Same for pretty mild temperatures as far as our daytime's high concerned, a little warmer than it will be today. But then Saturday night, overnight Saturday night through Sunday, we can see another potentially stronger wind event scheduled for the mountaintop. So we'll keep you updated as that develops. You can see region-wide in the Southern California area. Today is the strongest, with some major winds forecasted for this morning. The strongest gusts were overnight last night, including the strongest gusts in the region at Marshall Peak, which is down below Crestline, where they had some very significant gusts. I wanted to say it was 88 miles an hour. I posted separately if I was wrong on that, but I want to say 88, which makes it the strongest gust in the region. Saturday night into Sunday, they're calling it a moderate event throughout the region, but I think if you look specifically on the mountain, it's supposed to be even a more significant event. So by peaking noon on Sunday afternoon, so ramping up Sunday morning, and then we might see some gusts on the mountain, maybe in the 35, 40 mile an hour range. And then after that, things look pretty good for the remainder of next week. No fires to report on the mountain. Our fire danger on the forest floor remains moderate, primarily due to the wind and drying out condition and infrequent weather, infrequent snow or rainstorms. That's about the same for the entire region. We are at a low fire risk, and which is probably average for this time of year. You can see our long-term fire risk prediction is average for the next 4 months in the western United States, specifically in California. We had 3 crimes reported on the mountain yesterday, 2 weapons issues, 2 weapons charges. One was carried a concealed weapon, one was an accidental shooting, and then a fraud reported in Big Bear City. We'll go ahead and post that, so if you saw some police activity in your neighborhood, you'll know what was going on. 3 power outages currently reported on the mountain. The most significant one is down here in Waterman Canyon off the 18. There's actually, due to the strong winds, there's some damage to the infrastructure down there, affecting about 83 people. In fact, we saw lights on the mountain flicker earlier this morning when that happened. But as of now, the power has not been turned off to the mountain because of storm damage. On by 2 o'clock in Lake Arrowhead, there's 2 scheduled maintenance outages for repair or for equipment upgrades, affecting about 46 customers in those 2 locations, and their power should be returned by 4 o'clock this afternoon. Lastly, COVID-19 update. We posted these numbers yesterday. Today's number from the county. You can see there was a new case reported yesterday in Big Bear City, as well as in Big Bear Lake. A whopping 13 new cases reported in Crestline, 4 in Lake Arrowhead, 8 in Running Springs, and 3 in Sugarloaf. So that's a lot. We would like to see the county, rest of the state and country are on a downturn. One of the facts that I posted yesterday was that the San Bernardino County mountains communities represent only about 2.3%, 2.2, 2.3% of the total county population, yet those new cases, these 30 new cases reported yesterday, represent almost 12% of all the cases in the county. And so we need to remember to follow our protocols. We are getting on the other side of this, but if we want to see more stuff opening, we need to get these numbers down. This is the state's 4-tier risk system. It is a 7-day average, trailing 7 days. So these numbers are from 8 to 14 days ago. There has been some confusion from people as to why certain communities haven't changed and why some have. And it all depends upon the total number of cases reported in that 7-day period 7 days ago, or ending 7 days ago, and based upon their population. So just because you see a number here, this 537 in Big Bear City, and they're under substantial risk, which is only 5 cases, but they're under widespread risk. That's because Arrow Bear is a much smaller community, and they did have, between 8 and 14 days ago, a new case. In fact, 20% of their cases was reported 8 to 14 days ago. So that's why Arrow Bear, if there are no new cases reported this week, this will likely go down to minimum next week. And so it can change pretty quickly. It depends on the size of your community and the number of cases reported in that 7-day period ending 7 days ago. So we do see some good news here with a lot of the communities in the minimum risk, the lowest tier. Of course, they are some of our smaller communities. This is promising. Big Bear City down to substantial. We'd like to see Big Bear Lake, Crestline, Lake Arrowhead, and Running Springs all drop down into those lower tiers as well. And until then, we are under widespread risk regionally in both Bear Valley communities and in the Rim communities. This is the numbers, again, trailing 7 days, a 7-day average trailing 7 days, so 8 to 14 days ago, where the new cases reported is still more than this 7 per 100,000. And per 100,000 is where we get this purple or widespread risk. That gives us, if you do the math, if we have 30 cases and 50,000 residents on the mountain, that gives us a daily score of 60. So that is significantly higher than the rest of the county, which was only 11.5 yesterday, 16.2 for the rest of the state, and 21.6 for the rest of the country. So I suspect the numbers that come out today will look a little better, but going back to the 7-day average, trailing 7 days, this is what the school districts need to fall into. They need to drop this down to a lower tiers and the high schools on the mountain. So that's what I have for you now. Hopefully that's not too confusing. I'd be more than happy to discuss it with you. If you want to leave me a message, certainly you can email me or text me. The best information, the most update information, and thorough information is on our mountain-dispatch.com. You can even, once you get there on the homepage, top right corner, you can sign up to get a daily email update from us. You can follow along on Facebook, where we're pretty active on multiple posts a day. That is what is happening on the mountain on Facebook. Or if you want breaking news, we usually post it on either YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, or Periscope, and you can follow us at Scott Shaw Media. You have a great day, and we will give you more information soon.